welcome to TV Time with Argy Fantasies. I just recently recorded a podcast with Secret Agent X, and we were talking about the concept of the bro venture and talking about the adventure travel shows that are often, dealing with mysteries and whatnot. And we were talking about Unexplained and Unexplored, which is the most recent iteration of this stuff. And I mentioned how difficult it is for me to watch this show, and how I didn't really give it a fair shake as far as reacting to it goes. So I thought maybe I'd give it another shot and give it another try, so you get to... Sorry, so I've got things set up here in my living room to watch this show right before I go to bed, because I figure this will be a fun thing to watch as my brain slowly goes numb. We will be watching it at a much faster setting. That might be too fast, but we'll see. Alright, so this is Unexplained and Unexplored, Season 1, Episode 2, Superstition Mountains, and... okay, we're gonna do this.
A map drawn by a dying man may reveal the location of a lost mine, filled with over $200 million worth of gold. Could the legendary Lost Dutchman's gold mine still be out there, buried?
So Lost Dutchman gold mine is a real gold mine from the past called Dutchman's Gold Mine. It was owned by one of the more famous gold mining families at the time, and they mined gold, so probably the gold mine isn't going to actually, if it even exists anymore still, which it probably does. I don't know. It's been a while since I watched this. But even if they do find the area that is supposed to be the Dutchman mine, there's probably not going to be much, if any, gold in it, because it's a mine. They have mined it. And also, this thing is from the gold rush era. I don't know. Anyway.
Somewhere in Arizona's Superstition Mountains. Using a 200-year-old prospecting map.
It just says Mina. Mine.
Along with cutting-edge satellite mapping technology.
And there can still be gold there.
Yeah. We'll uncover physical evidence.
It's supposed to be from the Dutchman's mine.
And scour the brutal landscape.
Oh, wow. There it is.
To attempt to pinpoint the location. We're going to be standing on top of it right now. Of the legendary Lost Dutchman gold mine.
Whoa. You gotta see this, buddy.
Our world is full of mysteries that time forgot. But maps hold the answers. If you know how to read.
I'm not even sure what maps have to do with any of this. I like a good map. I love using GIS software. I actually have a master's in data science, and I know how to use ArcGIS. I get it. I know what you can do with a map. They don't do any of that stuff on this show. Anyway.
Read them. I'm international explorer Justin Fornell. This is the kind of spot people have taken shelter. I've led scientific expeditions around the globe and served as a fellow in the famed Explorers Club. I use my collection of ancient maps to unlock the secrets of our world. This might not be a legend or a myth. This might be historic fact. Along with my partner and expert guide, Emiliano Rupra, who's forged a career in the most dangerous places on Earth. We'll follow clues left behind in ancient and modern maps. As science advanced, so did cartography. To unearth lost relics.
Still probably the most profound thing this series has produced yet is the quote of, "As science has advanced, so has mapping."
Uncover forgotten civilizations and solve humanity's greatest mysteries. Where X marks the spot.
X never, ever marks the spot.
Ever since the dawn of the gold rush in the 1800s, prospectors have used maps to try and strike the rich. These literal treasure maps have spawned countless legends of mines filled to the brim with...
I think one of those was a prospector's map. The rest of those were plat maps and territory maps and just fake maps.
Gold. I've all these legends and their maps. One of the most enduring tales is that of the story of the Lost Dutchman's gold mine. Somewhere in the hundreds of miles of mountains surrounding Phoenix, Arizona, there's believed to be a mine containing over $200 million of pure gold. For over 100 years, explorers, prospectors, treasure hunters have all tried to find this mine. The only problem is, to this day, no one knows where it is.
So I've been doing some of my own research on this, and stories about gold mines were a dime a dozen during the gold rush era. And prospectors have always used this information to hide the whereabouts of these gold mines. So the question is the Lost Dutchman real, or is it just another campfire story?
The legend of the Lost Mine begins in the early 1800s, with the Peralta family, who controlled thousands of miles of land in the Superstition Mountains and dozens of mines. So according to this 1982 land assessment map, the Peraltas had mines in the area. The last 26, 27, 28, 29, and 30 are all confirmed Peralta mines, specializing in copper, lead, and gold. A rumor spoke.
That should not be, like, a heavy, significant fact. They're miners. They mine. That's what they do. It's not like they went out there just because they like banging rocks together.
Spoke of one Peralta mine, filled with acre after acre of pure 24-karat gold, worth over $200 million. The location
This
of
is
the
a
mine was kept
graphic.
secret
This
on
is
coded
not
maps
real.
that only the family could unlock.
This is a pretty concrete jumping off point. What else do we know about the secret mine?
There's nothing concrete about that because there's nothing unusual about that. We know that the Peraltas were one of the most wealthy families who controlled huge chunks of land for mining purposes. There's nothing significant about that statement as far as this Lost Dutchman mine.
So legend has it that a man by the name of Jacob Waltz actually rescues one of the Peraltas from this deadly barroom brawl. And as a reward, that family member actually shares with him the location of the secret.
Why is he even reading out of this old book? Like, he's reading a story out of this old book. And clearly he's not, because nobody reads like that. What, is he reading through his hand?
Mine. It keeps the location a secret for his entire life.
He's just holding this book to make it look like he's telling you a story. Like, this is all showmanship.
But it wasn't until 1891, when a catastrophic flood hits Waltz's home, and he gets a fatal case of pneumonia, that while on his deathbed, he tries to share the secret location of the mine with his caretaker.
Think about this logically. Why would he want to do that?
Jacob Waltz drew this
Ah.
map, said to depict the actual location of the mine he had kept secret his entire life. What are we even looking at?
What are we even looking at? Which way's up? What's left? What's right? Where's the north arrow? Also, can we talk about this map for a minute? Like, this has obviously been redrawn with a freaking Sharpie or just printed off on a piece of printer paper. And, like, this is not even old paper, you guys. This is just... It looks like an ink drawing, which is cool and all. But, no. Maps don't look like this. This is not what a map looks like.
Yeah, here. This looks like scribbles. I mean, it really does, but at the same time...
It looks like scribbles because it is.
Ridgeline in the Superstition Mountains.
It makes you wonder, are these the outlandish ruminations of a dying man, you know? Or do they actually hold the key to the secret location of a $200 million gold mine?
I don't know, but bottom line, if there's any truth to the legend of the Lost Dutchman gold mine, this map may hold the key.
I remember they meet somebody later on in this series. There's like two personalities in this show here, this particular episode, who I just adore, and both of them are so over this shit.
I did some cursory research, and these
We're
mountains,
driving
man, are
a
full
truck.
of mystery. There's been
Driving a big
prospectors and
old
treasure
truck.
seekers that have been found bullet-ridden, with their heads cut off, or completely disappeared. And people still venture out in search of this lost mine.
My
Something,
partner Liliana and I
something,
are deep in the
something,
Superstition Mountains,
something,
located 50 miles east of Phoenix,
something,
Arizona. Let's look at this Waltz map again.
to
That
the
looks like
break
a
of
landscape painting. I'm gonna take a good look here.
dawn.
In
I'm
order to determine if the
driving
Lost
my
Dutchman
truck
mine is real,
with my
we first have to
high
figure out
heels
if Jacob Waltz's map
on.
depicts an actual location in this area.
If we both agree that this is some kind of landscape,
Yeah.
then these peaks have to...
So they're literally just driving around in a Jeep because they probably couldn't get anything else to drive in, looking to see if they can line the horizon up with their drawing. May I point out that both of them are looking at this damn map. By both of them, I mean the guy driving and the passenger.
match up with Superstition Mountain landscape aspects, right?
The Superstition Mountains are over 160,000 acres of sprawling peaks that range from 1,700 to over 4,000 feet. So finding a landmass that matches the terrain in the drawing won't be easy.
I mean, that one is definitely the tallest there.
Is there something big in the area?
Well, there's tons of peaks, so it's hard to...
Yeah, but if it's tall, you should be able to see it from anywhere, right?
Oh, look at that.
That looks pretty damn close.
That looks damn close. Let's see what that is, actually. Just as a starting point, I brought a topographical map.
Wow, whatever that is, I want to check it out. That looks pretty incredible.
Pretty much everything is around 3,500 feet, maxes out, except Weaver's Needle reaches about 4,000. The highest peak on the map. That's the tallest point, that's gotta be Weaver's Needle.
Okay, so we're trying to find the...
I mean, why couldn't you have just done that while you were in the office? If you're like, oh, this little skibble scrabble here is clearly the tallest peak in the mountain range, then you could have just pulled out the topographic map while you were there and looked it up. Or even better, you could have Googled that. You didn't really need a map for that.
vantage point that Jacob Waltz was trying to show, that deathbed map, and it's just such a vast area. There's no way to really figure that out on foot.
Yeah,
And certainly not
exactly.
on the roads. I think we need to find a more efficient way to get various vantage points of Weaver's Needle.
Looks like our boy is here, huh?
We worked our contacts to get us a lift.
You don't have to work contacts that hard to get a lift in a helicopter. You could probably just hire a pilot. There's probably whole companies that do this.
Mitch? You guys ready?
Hi, Mitch.
Helicopter pilot Mitch is going to help us navigate the 10 miles of rugged terrain between us and Weaver's Needle.
It's not really rugged if you're doing it in a helicopter.
We're looking for any sign that matches the map.
Keep your eyes open.
So now, they're taking a fever dream map, and now instead of driving down one of the major interstates trying to line the horizon up with said map, now they're flying at a bird's eye view, you know, the normal view that you draw a map from, and they're trying to line the horizon up with the map that way. I just want to point these things out.
Yeah, we're just about to come around. You got Weaver's Needle just about at 1 o'clock right there. There it is, buddy. There it is.
This is great. Gives you the kind of view you could never get on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We would
exactly.
spend weeks trying to search. Throw me the map.
Yeah.
Take a quick look here. See
Throw
if I
me
can
the
match
map.
anything.
Just toss that bitch right out the window. Not only do maps not work like this, but neither does trying to align a map with a known location in reality. We don't do this.
Oh wow, there it is. Look, this
And when I say we, I mean archaeologists don't do that. No, I guess you can see that's why it's called Weaver's Needle. It's got a hole in it.
matches up almost perfect. You can see the northern peak picked out. It almost matches perfectly like a photograph.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
You can see that the landscape outline is exactly the same as the script.
Yeah, exactly the same. I guess not really.
It's almost like a perfect snapshot in time. So we're definitely on the right track. This is a huge revelation.
Uh-huh.
Now that we have visual confirmation that the Lost Dutchman's deathbed scribble actually matches something real in the landscape, it means that what he drew is something that he really saw.
Okay. I work outside. That's what I do. I work outside. I'm constantly slathering myself with sunscreen and stuff because I don't want skin cancer. And say what you will, sunscreen's the best way to protect yourself. The other really great way to protect yourself from the sun is to button your damn shirt all the way up. Like, why are you wearing a neck gaiter if you're just gonna leave your fucking boob window open there?
So, but that doesn't tell us where the mine actually is. We don't know if the deathbed map was pinpointing the location of Weaver's Needle or drawn from the perspective of the mine with Weaver's Needle in the distance. So we still have a lot of work to do to find it.
This is a big area.
Sure is.
Tens of thousands of prospectors have come
And we're walking
to this area in the last century looking for the lost mine.
and
Hundreds of them
walking
losing their lives during the mine.
dramatically.
As
There's
recently
some
as 2009, a treasure hunter named Jesse Cabin
cactuses.
went missing looking for the mine. And it took over 3 years for search and rescue to discover him dead in a ravine, 4 miles from Weaver's Needle. So succeeding where everyone else has failed won't be easy. Apparently this guy's the man to talk to. Luckily, we've convinced a local named Bob Shoes to help us.
Oh,
Bob,
that's
nice to
right.
meet you. He's
Hi,
a legendary
Bob.
prospector who knows the Superstition Mountains better than anyone else.
Bob's awesome.
Yeah, got the fever. And the fever for this Dutchman gold mine. We really got obsessed with the Waltz deathbed map and kind of this idea of Weaver's Needle.
Well, yeah, a lot of people are goofed up over that thing. They go right up to Weaver's Needle looking right around it. Everybody thinks they got to go right to Weaver's Needle to start looking.
Right.
The truth of the matter is, there is no gold out there.
You're saying that Weaver's Needle is a fool's errand.
Well, yeah, if you want to put it bluntly, that's what I'm saying.
So, Bob, why don't you tell us where the mine is?
Hello,
If I
Bob.
knew where it was at, I'd be mining it myself.
So if you don't know where it is, maybe it's not even real.
Well, I know another fellow that has. has something you'd probably be interested in seeing.
Really?
It's a piece of gold from the Dutchman.
A piece of gold from the mine itself. This could be evidence that the mine is actually real, and it's somewhere out in Superstition Mountain.
That statement is abso-fucking-lutely incorrect. Do 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 do.
Follow the clues from a 122-year-old hand-drawn map. We're in search of
I
a
got the
Lost
song
Dutchman
stuck in
gold
my
mine
head now.
that, according to legend, still houses $200 million worth of pure gold. And we've just gotten a massive lead.
No, you really
I know
haven't.
another fellow that has a piece of gold from the Dutchman.
If you could get a hold of that object somehow, some way, get us close to it, you mind giving us a call about that?
Well, he doesn't like anybody knowing that he's got it, you know. If he's willing to show it, I'll see what I can do.
We hope to hear back from you.
All right, I'll give you a call when I find something out.
Thank you, Bob.
Bless you, Bob. And we're panning.
If this rumored piece of gold from the Dutchman mine is in fact genuine,
And
it would be the
we're
first piece of hard evidence
panning.
that this lost mine is in fact real.
And we're panning. Vamp, vamp, vamp. Why are you parked along the side of the road in the desert? That makes no sense. You were in a perfectly good saloon. Why didn't you just stay there? Go back to your hotel room. You had 6 hours.
Hey, Bob.
I got a hold of that old boy, and I didn't think he was going to do it. But he gave me that picture I told you about. You don't want nobody knowing who he is.
Oh, really? Okay, but are we able to personally see it?
Yeah, I got it.
Well, hold tight, man, and we'll get right over to you. Let's rush. Let's go.
Let's go see what...
I suspect it's actually Bob. He just wants everybody to think that he's got an alter ego. I think it's Bob.
He's got.
We head back to Bob's office, located in Apache Junction, on the outskirts of the Superstition Mountains.
What does Bob do when he's not prospecting? And we're panning. And we're panning.
Really itching to see what this...
Piece of gold from the mine itself.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Bob.
How you doing, guys?
All right. What you got there?
It's kind of a special thing. You don't know how honored I am to be holding it. That's it, guys. It's supposed to be from the Dutchman's mine.
I've never seen gold that yellow.
Unbelievable. That is absolutely beautiful.
It is amazing.
So what are we looking at? This is gold in quartz?
Gold in quartz. They slab it, polish it, use it to set in jewelry.
So this is gold in its purest, most natural beauty.
Hi.
But how do we really know it's from
How
the
are
Dutchman's
you?
mine?
I got the affidavit for the authenticity of this piece.
Here we go. Listen to this. In 1969, the local courts drafted a legal document outlining the chain of custody of this gold from Jacob Waltz, the last person to visit the mine in the late 1800s, through the hands of several intermediaries, and eventually into the hands of the current owner. On his deathbed, he gave my father a miner's candle box full of gold ore by the Dutchman, Jacob Waltz. He also made a lengthy deathbed revelation regarding the history and location of the source of the gold, since called the Lost Dutchman Mine.
My father had jewelry made, a gold matchbox.
Wow. So the matchbox was made with actual gold ore from the Dutchman's mine.
Well, it's supposed to be. We have to test it first.
According to legend, the Lost Dutchman Mine is said to house the purest gold in the world, 24 carats, which is extremely rare. So we can test the purity of this matchbox and see if it lines up with the legend.
Yeah, I don't get along with that technical stuff too good.
So it's
I love you, Bob.
an XRF gun. It's going to let us know how pure the gold is, if it is gold at all.
XRF is a highly advanced technology that uses X-rays to scan the presence and purity of elemental gold.
All right.
The higher the reading, the purer the gold.
This is not actually how an XRF gun, I mean, this is literally how an XRF gun is used. But what they're saying isn't entirely true about the readings of an XRF gun. Even if they get a reading back of 24 karat gold, unless they have a known sample, like a truly known sample, like they got the sample themselves from the Dutchman mine, they don't have anything to compare it to. And without a comparison sample, everything they're about to say about this gold is completely speculation. I just want you guys to all... Now, it is cool that there's an affidavit, that there was some kind of chain of custody, that it was observed. Yes, the documents could be forged, they could be fake, but I have no reason to believe that they are not. I have no reason not to trust Bob. I have no reason not to trust his mysterious friend, who I think is actually him. There's no reason not to trust the affidavit. You actually gonna play with the fish? Look at you getting brave. Yeah, never mind. And my point being... Sorry, my cat's distracted me. My point being, yeah, they're going to get a reading off of this, and who knows what it's going to come out as, because all they're going to tell us about is the gold. They're not going to tell us about the quartz, which is there as well, and is also getting read by the FRX gun. So they're not going to tell us about any of this. The quartz actually would probably be more useful than the gold, because the quartz would be specific to the mine, but again, without a sample to compare it to, the absolute best you could do at this point is take samples from all the other mines that you do have access to and rule out that the gold is not from any of those. Again, doesn't make it from the Lost Dutchman Mine, but it does tell you that it's not from any of the other mines. They're not gonna do that. I've already seen this episode, and I know they didn't go through that much effort. Anyway.
Most gold mine in America is 85% pure.
Wow, right in the center where there's the gold? That's reading about 24 carats. This is pure gold.
I'm convinced with your reading and that affidavit that this is a genuine article from the Dutchman's mine, which means that the mine does exist. It's not a myth.
And that's assuming that he took a reading from the actual vein and not from this worked gold here. This filigree on the matchbox. It's beautiful. This is a very beautiful piece of work, but if you're reading this gold right here, it's worked. It's been purified.
That the gold came from another 24-carat source. But with both the map and physical evidence lining up, I'm more confident than ever that the Dutchman...
Neither their map nor their physical evidence is lining up. I'll throw that out there for you.
Mine is real.
Matter of fact, they were told that the map that they were going after was definitively wrong. Bob straight up told them there's no gold over there.
So Bob, at this point, all that's left is for you to take us to the mine itself.
Yeah, I could do that, but I'd have to shoot you.
So that was a big find, man.
That was pretty neat.
That's cool.
Now that we've proved that the mine could be real, we just have to find it. But narrowing down...
And here's the other thing, like, they don't have to prove that the mine is real. We know the mine's real. Like, I think later on in this episode, they kind of let it spill that the Dutchman Mine was a real mine, really mined by the Peralta family. Like, we know it existed. There's no doubt that it existed. The question is, does it still exist? And does it still have all this gold in it?
Down its location in the 250 square miles of the Superstition Mountains is a monumental task. I guess we got more work to do then.
We certainly do. See if we can find something. Get us one step closer.
Clean your
According to our local contact,
screen.
Bob, there are rumors of a rarely seen prospector's map from the 1840s that if we can get access to, could lead us to the mine. So Emiliano's working the phones.
My name's Emiliano. I'm doing some research on the Lost Dutchman's gold mine. I got your name from Bob Shoes. Whoa, okay. Absolutely, you got it. Okay, we'll be there. We'll be there in less than 20. Dude, guess what?
It was very necessary that, A, not only are we privy to one side of that conversation, but that we watch it from this incredibly weird angle. What is this angle?
You got a map.
Emiliano's tracked down this prospector's map, and the owner is not only willing to share it, but claims it leads to the lost mine.
Let's go.
Dun 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 dun. And we're driving down the road. Vamp, vamp, we're driving.
Dude, guess what? You got a map.
Pad the
We just received a
film,
tip on a
pad
rarely seen
the
prospector's map from the
film.
1840s that is rumored to reveal secret mines in the area. This
Gotta
lost gold mine is one
repeat
of the greatest on the
everything we
southwest.
just
If we could bring some closure to it, that could
said.
change everything. So from
Cause
20
we don't
miles
have
to
enough
Arizona,
material to fill out a
to the home of Frank
45-minute
Davis, who, after some negotiating, has agreed to grant us unprecedented
segment.
access to the secret map, which could be the key.
It's not a secret if you know it's there.
Gregory? Yes. Hello. Hey, Justin Fornell. Nice to meet you, Justin.
No, nice.
It's not a secret if all you had to do was make one freaking phone call and suddenly you have access to this map.
Nice to meet you. Now, it's my understanding that you're interested in the Lost Dutchman.
Yes, we sure are.
Follow me. This is the original Peralta map.
Wow, that's a map. The
Sure.
Peraltas were the wealthy mining family who originally owned and operated the Dutchman Mine in the early 1800s, eventually sharing its secret location with Jacob Waltz decades later.
So right there, we've just already admitted that the mine was a real thing at some point in history.
What do we estimate this map is?
Somewhere between 1848 and the late 1850s.
So this predates our buddy Jacob Waltz.
Yes, it does.
Wow. It was 1891 that Jacob Waltz tried to share the location of the mine through his hand-drawn deathbed map, which launched a feeding frenzy of prospectors trying to track it down and failed. But this Peralta map is from over 40 years earlier, which means it can contain key information about the mine's location, now privy to the decades of failed treasure hunters.
Is there any possibility we could take the map out just to take pictures?
Sure.
What is that printed on?
I believe it's deerskin.
Wow. In the early 1800s, paper was often hard to come by, so deerskin was a common alternative for map makers.
Random facts.
I see quite a few X's on this map.
Can you see any standout features? That looks like Rio Salado.
Don't touch that thing with your bare hands. Get your finger off of there.
The map is centered around a river, Rio Salado. And right next to a bend in that river are 3 crosses.
I don't understand why they did what they did, because they literally had a document scanner on the table right next to them when they were taking pictures. The document scanner could have scanned this whole thing in one go, which is probably what they ended up doing. So I don't know why they're taking pictures. I don't know, whatever.
Then, to be a key geographical landmark, to help anchor our search in the hundreds of miles of nearby mountains.
Can you point out the crosses? I can't see it from here.
This whole little valley, only one.
This has to be what they actually did, because, like, compare the color of the ink here and the clarity of the writing to the thing we just watched. The little 3D shifty thing. And anyway. Document preservation. It's a thing, you guys.
We need to get this to somebody who really is familiar with the region and just really is familiar with this type of map. This is arguably the most important piece of information to lead us to the old Dutchman Mine.
You're gonna fall.
We're traveling to Superior, Arizona.
You're still gonna fall.
Right? Where we've set
There
up
you
a meeting
go.
with
See,
master
told
gold
you.
prospector Wayne Tuttle.
Wayne Tuttle. That's my other favorite in this
Wayne
episode.
has spent his life uncovering gold in the Superstition Mountains.
I love this guy.
All right, Wayne, so this is the Peralta map. We found on the top corner next to this river some X's. I don't know if you know what those are.
Well, generally an X would be a mine.
So those are would be 3 separate mines?
That there's multiple X's is probably an area they were finding gold and multiple access points that were working the vein, possibly.
Gold forms deep below the Earth's crust and then bubbles upwards through the layers as a hot liquid, often forming into long veins winding below the surface. Some gold veins can stretch for upwards of half a mile long. So if these multiple X's represent a gold vein associated with the Dutchman, the question is, where is it?
In terms of its location, is this a recognizable part of the river to you?
This seriously does look like 4 peaks. We're definitely looking Rio Salado, that would be Spanish for Salt River. Do you have a satellite map we can kind of reference this to?
Let me pull that.
What's this? Yeah, we're looking at the Salt River here. You probably want to zoom in these areas here. And on the previous map, it looked like it was 4 peaks. That would be generally in this area. Can you overlay it right in this area here a bit?
So here's a picture of the map. I'm trying to place the map using kind of the river's curvatures. I'll try to line it up with the Salt River. That's starting to match up, isn't it?
It definitely seems to be fitting the alignment with the river right here.
You can do this kind of thing with older maps if you already have some kind of orientation. Clearly, this guy, Tuttle, clearly is familiar with all of this already, or else he wouldn't be pulling this out so fast. I still like the guy. He knows what he's talking about. He knows what he's doing. He knows what's going on here. And I feel like he's the only one in the room that does.
Reasonable fit.
That is a more than reasonable fit, I would say.
If you look at those peaks and valleys right underneath the bend, they're kind of matching up, aren't they?
Yeah, it does kind of blend in kind of nicely there. You're looking at this area here, and these should be mines. And it does match.
Thanks to the Peralta map, we've narrowed down our search area from the entirety of the Superstition Mountains to a 3 square mile area along the Salt River.
Well, that pin is dead center between those 3 X's. Does that make sense to you as a possible location of a mine?
Yeah, you want to see what's in the area.
Wow, I think that's an incredible reading of the Peralta map. We have pinpointed the perfect search area. Now it's time to go and find something.
That's not how that works. Jadder, jadder,
Using a
jadder.
rarely seen
And now we're gonna
170-year-old Peralta prospecting
recount
map
everything that
identifies
just
what could be a mysterious mine near a bend in the
happened.
Salt River.
That's a reasonable fit.
That is a more than reasonable fit, I would say.
We've pinpointed a 3 square mile area in Arizona's Superstition Mountains that could be home to the Lost Dutchman Mine and its 200 million in gold.
And this area here, and these should be mines. And it does match.
We should probably guess the fact that this is episode 2 and like, what, an 8 episode series that they probably didn't find the gold. Just saying.
Be a place we're checking out. But that still means scouring miles of unforgiving mountain terrain, looking for an opening that can be as small as 2 feet wide in the mountains, not knowing if there are any remnants of gold.
You know, I got friends that work out in Arizona, and they literally hike that stuff on a daily basis, like 10 miles of that a day. You guys can totally go out there and hike a 3 square mile area. It's fine. You'll be fine.
So, we're headed to the School of Earth and Space Exploration at Arizona State University, home to powerful satellite mapping tech that will allow us to prospect for gold from space. Thanks for having us.
From
Sure.
space.
I have loaded the map that you guys have sent. Let me pull up the satellite images.
Geologist Sonam Sherpa has granted us access to the Landsat 8 satellite that is orbiting 26 miles above the Earth. Developed by NASA and launched in 2013, Landsat 8 is a powerful satellite that maps resources and minerals below the Earth's surface by detecting the infrared light waves they emit from the ground.
Would we be able to find gold
These are all true statements.
with this technology?
We'll be able to see different kind of minerals from it.
The kinds of minerals that would mean that gold might be present.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
great. Every mineral emits a unique light signature, which this satellite can detect and map. The purple and pink pixels indicate where gold could be present. So now, what are we looking at here?
So we are focusing on Superstitious Mountain over here. Salt River is over here.
Yeah, right where it takes that big curve. Yeah, this is the area that we're investigating.
Right now we're just looking at the overall area.
Okay.
So let me go to the next image where we focus on minerals.
Sonam directs the Landsat 8 satellite to zero in on our 3 square mile search area and map the color spectrum of the minerals present in that area.
And this is the purple and pink pixels, which indicates like there is gold.
Okay. And is there more in this area than in the area surrounding?
Yeah.
It's likely because of the mineral content.
Yeah, because of the mineral content that we see from these images.
Okay. I mean,
However, fun stories. Until you go and ground truth that, which they do, just because it looks like something might be there, you don't know 100% for sure. That's the fun of satellite data and that kind of stuff. Yes, it can get you to a area of high probability, but until you go and verify it physically and are like, wow, I am here on this spot at these coordinates and I am checking for this thing, until you do that, you can't say for sure that that thing is there, especially when it's something under the ground.
there could be the remnants of a lost mine, and there could still be gold. It's entirely possible.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. In a 3 square mile area that our Peralta prospecting map pointed us.
Oh my
there's a spike of
god,
minerals
quit showing the same
consistent with gold.
freaking
The
film
12
over and over
And this
again.
modern mapping satellite are separated by centuries, but they're both telling us the same thing. There's gold at that location.
This
They're not
Landsat 8
telling
map
you
is
that
showing
at all.
us the Lost Dutchman's gold mine is
They're
real,
saying the
and
minerals
it's somewhere in that location.
are the same as when there's gold in the
So
area.
it's finally time to put boots on the ground.
Driving,
With all the evidence pointing us to the same
driving.
area.
Oh my god, I
Mr.
love
Wayne
this
Cook
scene.
Has agreed to guide us to that location and determine if there's in fact gold there.
Hang on.
Get the COA as well.
This is
This part of
precious.
the desert is rarely explored. And with no roads, the journey won't be easy.
So here's where the GPS coordinates point at mine. Could be.
I slowed this down because I love this
We're
part
over
so much.
here, Mesquite Flat, so
Yeah, you see all the trails here. There is nothing there, so we're going to be bushwhacking it from point A to point B there.
Okay.
We're pretty much burning daylight, so we probably should get started.
what do we
Bless
got
you,
here?
Wayne.
We got some pans.
Old school.
There ain't no any other thing but old school. Unless
I love you, Wayne, so much.
one of you guys want to carry a sluice.
I'll take this.
All right.
Wayne's like, he's like, the fuck is wrong with you? Oh, yeah, where was I watching this? It's like, what? This is old school. Great.
Head out.
Our journey will take us through 7 miles of rough terrain, scorching sun, and poisonous predators.
There's a saying out here that everything bites and stings and pricks you. So from the cat claw to the scorpions to the rattlesnakes, just kind of always be aware of your surroundings and what you're getting into.
Wayne Tuttle understands the language of gold. I've been out with some hunters, and you see the way they interact when they're on a hunt for an animal. So Wayne kind of has that bloodhound nose for gold. So it's really cool to see him operate.
Okay, Corey.
I like Wayne a lot, but I doubt seriously Wayne's sniffing the gold out. Just saying.
The GPS, we are landing in that general area where your coordinates set us.
Okay.
Okay, so Wayne has this innate sense to be able to find the location of gold. Pan to Wayne. Yeah, the GPS says we're right on those coordinates you sent. I love you, Wayne. You and Bob.
So I would say in this area here, what we want to do is
You are the
blasting.
heroes of this
Check and see if we're
episode.
going to find any gold in the wash.
So that's like panning for gold.
Panning for gold, yeah.
And if we placer and we find some remnants of gold, it could mean that we're close to a vein or potentially close to the mine.
It means gold's coming to this area from somewhere.
Okay.
And if we find nothing, that tells us we're in an area that's barren of gold.
Wayne's done with these guys, like straight done.
So let's get a sample back up under here.
And why would you be digging under the tree as opposed to anywhere else in this bed?
Well, back up in here is where the gold would lodge. The water comes down out of the mountains periodically when we have heavy rains. Then what we'll do here, we'll get the other bigger stuff out of here. So we'll get that out of here. And then we'll come down here to the water.
Because gold is denser than dirt, when you sift it through water, the sand and debris is washed away, leaving, hopefully, gold flakes that stick to the bottom of your pan.
The gold's heavier than anything that's in there. So if there's any gold in here, it's going to stay at the bottom.
If we can find any, that means we're on the right track. And a larger source of gold is likely nearby.
It's not giving us anything here. We're not seeing anything gold-wise in there, so we'll just hit another spot.
Let's go to another spot.
So we're not really seeing any gold? Okay. Okay, a little more tilt and angle on that, Justin. Okay, there you guys go. You see it?
What? How do we get close?
See the spots here?
Oh, yeah.
You see it?
Oh, is that straight up gold?
This is gold.
This was just like flakes of gold were in the
This is
sand.
the small stuff that's broken off and moving through.
Dead center in the pen, you can clearly see the gold. Obviously, the flake is small, but we do know it's gold.
That is kind of
Having
cool.
found this gold here means that it's coming from...
Why are you looking at it with a loop? If I can see it with my bare eye, I mean, other than you just have a loop and you really just want to look at it, I will admit it's fun to look at things under a loop, but okay.
somewhere.
Yeah, and the fact that we picked it up out of there means it's probably working out of somewhere up here, up in this area above us.
Hang on, wait for it.
So this is where we set up and start doing our grid search in the area.
What would we be looking for?
We could be looking for anything in the red dirt type of thing that's going to tell us high iron content in the area.
Where is it? Where is it?
There's
This is
iron,
the other,
granite,
like,
quartz. That's what we're looking
amazing
for.
part of this
Now
freaking.
that we have our search
Oh, there we go. Nope, wait, stop. There it is. Gee, where should we go look for a mine? I mean, how would we know what to look for while we're looking for this mine? What would a mine look like out here? Okay, anyway, you get
Do
my
it.
point.
Yeah, all right, great.
Emiliano and I have to part ways with Wayne and scour the area for evidence of a mine.
All right.
Why are you leaving your backpack? What is wrong with you? Wow, you two would like die
Going up this
in
tree and get a little more of a
Why are you
lookout.
climbing a tree? Why are you? What? Dude, seriously? I feel like they should be playing like Monty Python music in the background. Oh, hey.
I look up, and on a mountain, I see a
Oh, hey, are we going to this thing that might be a mine? Are we gonna go look at that? Is that what we're gonna go? Is that what we needed to climb a tree to see? Is that thing that we saw when we were standing down by the river? That's what we're gonna go? Okay, just checking.
huge opening of some sort. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I'm so glad you
It looks
guys
exactly
wasted
like the
however
entrance to
long
the
it took you guys to take
There's
all
an
that
opening on
film
the
of you
outside.
looking around like a
And it's located
couple
right
of
in the heart of the
lost
search zone.
children.
Cutting this little wash, I mean, that's going to take us right up there.
It's not an easy hike, but we've got to see what it is.
Look at all this. What you got there? That's the iron oxide.
Yeah, look at all that.
You have no
Red
idea
dirt
what you're talking
means that
about.
there's a high concentration of iron oxide. We know that iron oxide pops up in regions that are thick with gold deposits. Clearly,
Did Wayne just like tap out? Was Wayne just like, all right, I found your gold flakes. I'm going home now. Have fun. Remember to drink water.
there's something in this mine.
Speaking of which, we haven't seen them
see
drink
anything?
any water.
It opens up. It opens up there? Yep.
Wait,
Climb on it.
Oh,
do these guys have their own camera and that's why the angles are so freaking weird? Is that what's happening here? Did someone just give them both, or give them a GoPro and now they're filming their own footage? Is that why it is suddenly such crap?
Whoa. You gotta see this, buddy.
They should have splurged for the higher ranging GoPro that had the self-stabilizer on it, because my GoPro is not that shaky.
using the 170-year-old Peralta prospecting map, we have narrowed our search for the Lost Dutchman Mine to a 3-square-mile area around the Salt River in the Superstition Mountains of Arizona.
My guess is that they didn't actually need to use that map to find this location because it's pretty well visible. I'm just saying, I feel like something like that would have been very easy to find, but anyway.
The spots here.
Oh, is that straight up gold?
After finding evidence of gold,
Straight
we've
up
located
gold.
what might be an entrance to the
Nah,
mine
man, it's
itself.
kind of crookedly
You see
gold.
anything? Whoa.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
You gotta see this, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Oh, that's wild.
Oh,
Are you
it's
on my
on it.
flashlight? This
No,
last one in
wait,
front?
is it on? It is on his head.
Going in? Let's
That
go.
explains it.
Follow you with the camera. It's just,
Oh, no.
it's really damp and
no.
it's clearly man-made. And it's made out of this iron oxide rock, which means that if it's not there now, gold would have been here at some point.
Where's your XRF gun? Like, seriously, where's your XRF gun?
We're about 20 feet or so into the rock. It's a 2x6 entrance, perfectly carved, but it's not exactly stable. So we're gonna search and see if we can
Kind of
find
like your
some traces of
camera
gold.
angles.
A lot of effort went into getting up here and extracting something.
That's true, probably.
We're dealing with some quartzite, iron oxide, really interesting stuff.
It is said that the Dutchman Mine contains the largest cache of gold ever found on American soil.
Cache. Anyway, not a geologist, either of the two of them. What are they talking about? They're just repeating the things that they were told, trying to make it sound like they know what they're saying.
But as Emiliano and I get deeper into it, if it's as rich as history says it is, we think it's too small to really be the Dutchman gold mine.
They went as far back as they could, and they didn't find anything, so they turned back. But it means that this rock is a clue. It's a further clue getting us closer to figuring out where this gold might be.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't mean that at all.
Between the Landsat 8 satellite map, the Peralta prospecting map, and physical signs of gold, everything is telling us that the
That rock you held up was not physical sign of gold.
Lost Dutchman's mine is somewhere in this 3 square mile area. Let's go. So we're heading to higher ground to survey our search zone.
They walk a lot in this show. I'm not against walking, I'm just like,
There we go.
Look at that.
yeah, look at that.
A little better view of the area here.
Yeah.
You know what's weird? If you look at just that peak, you compare it to the other peaks, all the other peaks have those kind of watermarks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this one, it's slant. It's like the whole mountain almost should. Some major event happened to that peak itself.
Yeah. Take a look at it.
And who told you this, that you are clearly just repeating?
Right there.
Yeah, it seems kind of misplaced, doesn't it?
Look where it came from. See where it fits in? The whole quarter of that entire ridge fell down.
It's clearly a wall, and that's like the missing jigsaw piece.
Yeah.
What do you think? Seismic activity?
I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense. Maybe the reason
Let it go, let it go.
we can find this mine is because it's under 100 feet of rubble. If Mother Nature has altered the landscape, it can explain why the mine has been so difficult to find.
What if the Lost Dutchman's gold mine is literally buried underneath rock?
Bum, bum, bum. Hang on, we'll tie it together for us.
By following clues in the 107-year-old Peralta prospecting map and using satellite mapping technology, we have pinpointed a 3 square mile area in the Superstition Mountains that we believe is the location of the Lost Dutchman's mine. Take a look at that right there. And in that exact area, there are strange rock formations and disturbed earth.
It's clearly a wall, and that's like the missing jigsaw piece.
Yeah.
Okay, seriously, if you're watching me and you speed me up, you will in no way be able to understand these guys.
What do you think? Seismic activity?
Well, if that's the case, it would explain why no one can find it. Did
Is
something
this
happen this
really
area?
that
Possibly
slow
an
that
earthquake.
when I
Bearing in
speed
mind
it up to
100 feet of rubble,
175
is that the
point,
reason no one's
it's
been able to find it for 2
still
centuries?
intelligible?
To find out, we're heading to
Intelligible?
Arizona State University.
Intelligible.
Professor Aerosmith? Hi. Justin Foyle.
To meet with Dr. Ramon Aerosmith, a structural geologist who's been studying the rock formations and fault lines.
First off, dude's last name is Aerosmith. His name, his title, is Dr. Aerosmith. He wins the cool name game.
In this area for over 20 years. So as you know,
He's
we've been
looking at a
searching
soil map. That was a soil map, guys. Anyway.
So we're wondering if it's possible that some kind of seismic activity could have changed that area to make the mine harder to find than we thought.
Well, I've been thinking about this, and it's really quite intriguing. As a professor, of course, I gotta have some slides.
Well, that's great. Now, earthquakes
And blind you.
Not so common.
As a professor, of course, I must have some slides. And blind you with the projector light.
We might have big ones every 10,000 years or so, but there's a famous one that was in 1887, the biggest earthquake in Arizona, the Pitakachi earthquake, and it was felt right in the superstitions. Just how powerful was this earthquake? What this map shows is the intensity measures from the earthquake, so it was felt all the way to Mexico City, Albuquerque, so it was right inside.
Well, we're actually, I can point it out, we're actually here. You see what looks kind of like the head of a bat?
Yeah.
So we think that this peak is maybe where our mine could be.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of steep slopes in that region, and so if you have a ground shaking from a big earthquake, those cliff faces could fall down and maybe burying that mine. And there's also this report from this newspaper from back then. This one rancher, he talked about how the earth commenced rocking, and he enjoyed a very interesting view of some of the toppling cliffs of that range just near the Salt River, so it's in this area.
Two of the tallest views.
That's gotta be a hell of a thing to be standing there in the middle of an earthquake and you look up and you can see the peaks in the distance crumbling. I mean, that just, wow. That gives you shivers to think about.
Which guard the entrance to a canyon toppled over and met each other in midair. Jeez. So those are enormous.
Yeah, there's a picture from that earthquake, and you can see what happened in the earthquake. The ground broke. The cowboys are there, they're probably 6 feet tall, so you can see it's almost 3 times their height.
This ground was pushed out about, 18 feet by the earthquake.
Yeah.
Not to be mean, but those cowboys are probably not 6 feet tall. I just judging from the time, the era that this picture was taken, people weren't on average that tall. But anyway,
So
that's me
it's reasonable to say that this
nitpicking.
earthquake could have affected the Dutchman's mine.
Yeah,
That could explain everything. It's under rubble or just collapsed completely.
that actually is a pretty plausible explanation.
This is all lining up. The Dutchman's gold mine was reported to be in operation
This is all lining up. We needed 45 minutes to get to this conclusion. No, you didn't. No.
until the late 1800s, and Jacob Waltz was the last person to see it with his own eyes in the 1880s. Then, in 1887, there's a massive earthquake, and no one has seen the mine since. Could the reason that no one has found it since Waltz be because there's no way to get to it?
One other thing I wanted to show you, in 1891, there was a record-breaking flood, so that would also help change the topography that it may now never be rediscovered.
That's the year that our mine owner died. The legend of the Lost Dutchman's Mine speaks of Jacob Waltz contracting pneumonia after a flood in 1891, leading to his infamous deathbed map. According to archival evidence, there was in fact a massive flood in this area, the exact year that the legend spoke of the same thing.
That could have been the death knell. That floodwaters could have just finished the mine off completely.
So the mine could be buried underwater, buried under rock. People have been searching for something that's disappeared a long time ago.
The Superstition Mountains have held the secret location of the lost...
Okay, we're done. So, and this is why archaeologists do background research before we go out and do anything else. This is why we spend so much time looking at old documents, looking at old maps, looking at reports from the time period that we expect to be finding things out. We would be looking at the geological reports for the area so that we knew what kind of soils and rocks that we're going to be dealing with. We would have known all of this before we even went out here. We would not have just started willy-nilly walking around with a map that we printed off from our inkjet printer and are trying to pass it off as someone's hand-drawn map and lining it up with the horizon. That's just bonkers. I don't even think, like, these two amateur prospectors, I don't think they would do that either. I don't even know if they qualify as amateur. I mean, those dudes are like pros in my book. I don't think you can get a professional. I don't know anything about prospecting, but what I do know is how to map, how to read a map, and how you find out about the history of an area before you go digging, because you don't want to be wasting precious time wandering around in the desert. Now, we would not have gotten to meet Wayne Tuttle, he is one of the stars of this show, as was Bob. We would not have gotten to meet either of those two people. Well, we may have if we were doing really thorough investigation and we were actually like interviewing informants from the area. We might have actually talked to living human people, but we certainly wouldn't have gone on a panning expedition with Wayne Tuttle unless we were just like, hey, you wanna go pan for some gold? Then yes, we probably would have gone and done that. But the amount of time that was wasted in this show for what was it? How long did the reveal take? We meet this guy at somewhere around 38, and we're done by 41. 3 minutes. So we just sat through 41 minutes of film for a 3-minute reveal that could have been dealt with. And I would hope that their research people probably did deal with it before any of this even happened. So this was a wild goose chase. We just watched two grown men run around chasing after wild geese. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Yay, television magic. I did say I would give the series one more go, which means I am going to sit down and watch every freaking one of these episodes and do one of these for it. So I guess tune back in to watch me get more aggravated as we go on.